Mhm. Okay, good morning. So we are in the second class in Sefer Shmuel. Last time we saw like general introduction. We said that the main topic, purpose of the book is to describe the creation of the kingdom of David, or generally the monarchy in Israel, which is not an easy way, but it's a change of direction from Sefer Shoftim. If Sefer Shoftim was only down and down and down, Sefer Shmuel is building up. And maybe the top times of Israeli history is right after Sefer Shmuel, in beginning of Sefer Melachim. So it goes down from the days of Yeshua until the end of Sefer Shoftim, the horrible thing that we saw. It's starting to climb, to go up, to rise in Sefer Shmuel Aleph, Shmuel Bet, starting with the kingdom of Shaul, and after that of David. And the top high is when? With the building of the temple, in the beginning of Sefer Melachim, in the days of Shlomo. And Shlomo himself starts again the deterioration. That's, we will see Bezrat Hashem one day in Sefer Melachim. Shlomo arrived to the top high, and then it starts go down, and until the end of Sefer Melachim, which is a destruction of the temple and the beginning of the exile. So this is the general picture. Now, a thing that I didn't mention last time, which is also important, I said, and I repeat it now, that the main topic is a monarchy, but there is also another thing that is related directly to that it's also very in focus on this book. I mean, not maybe in focus, but in the background. And this is the place of the Mishkan, of the Tabernacle, of Oel Moed, which is also a kind of building up towards the beginning of Sefer Melachim. Will be, like I said before, the building of the temple is in the beginning of Sefer Melachim. But returning to what I said in Sefer Shoftim, we saw that in the last story of Sefer Shoftim, it's like, by the way, not in the, it says, when the people of Binyamin had to look for wives, so they were sent to Shiloh. And there is a very accurate description of where is Shiloh. You're going from this road, in the right side of the road. There's a very specific description of the location of the place. Now, Shiloh was the place where was a temple for 200 years, not the temple, the tabernacle. So what, people didn't know where it is? So there are several explanations for that, but one explanation is, yes, people didn't know where Beit HaMikdash here was. So we understand that the level of connection of Beit HaMikdash was very, very low. So another problem of the times of the Shoftim was that they didn't have the connection with the place of the Aron Kodesh, of the temple, of the tabernacle. It was in Shiloh, but nobody visited there. Nobody knew where it is. They had the Pesel Micha temple, and they went there and not to Shiloh. Now, in the beginning of the Sefer Shmuel, we read about the destruction of Shiloh. And then after that, the Aron Kodesh going from a place to place, and the tabernacle itself going from place to place. They weren't in the same place. The Aron was in one place, and the rest of the things were in other places. They went to Nov and Givon, other places. Interesting, all the places of the Mishkan and the temple are in the tribe of Binyamin, the territory of the tribe of Binyamin. So there is a strong connection between the tribe of Binyamin and Beit HaMikdash, the same tribe that was almost destroyed in the end of Sefer Shoftim. Why do you think is that? What is, why, I mean, it was in the beginning the Gilgal, after that Shiloh, after that Nov, after that Givon, after that Jerusalem, or Kiryat Yarim. Kiryat Yarim was a place where the Aron was, we will see that. All these places, all of them only in the territory of the tribe of Binyamin. So there is a special connection between Binyamin and Beit HaMikdash. It's also said in the bracha that Binyamin received, it says, Shochen alav kol hayom uven ktefav shachen, which means, according to the Mefarshim, alludes to the place of the Mishkan, that it's in the territory of Binyamin. Why in that? The short answer is, Binyamin is the only tribe that was born in Eretz Israel. Is only one. All the other tribes, all the other sons of Yaakov were born in Haran. The only one that was born in Eretz Israel was Binyamin. So he has a special connection to Eretz Israel. He is in the center of the land, exactly in the center of Eretz Israel, the tribe of Binyamin is. So we see that all the places of the temple are, or the tabernacle or the temple, are inside the tribal territory of Binyamin. So, but again, the connection to the place of Beit HaMikdash is very, very low. Now, like I said, in the end of Sefer Shoftim, they didn't even know where is it. In the beginning of Sefer Shmuel, we will see that only few people knew where it is or went there, and then it's destroyed, and after that, the connection is built gradually during the book. So there's another topic, it's building of the monarchy and building the connection with the temple. Okay, after all this introduction, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring one page that I wanted to, just a second. Okay, well, so sorry. Now, finally, after all this introduction, we are starting the first verse. Okay, it says, now there was a certain man of Ramatayim Tzofim in Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Yerucham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Tzuf, and Ephratit. So, the word certain man in Hebrew, ish echad. Ish echad. The word echad here is unnecessary. You could say it, Vayi ish min haramatayim tzufim. Why to say ish echad? How many people are there usually when you're talking about one person? It's a one person. Vayi ish, one, and there was a man. Why it says echad? The word echad is many times, there is also one who is echad. Who is echad? Hashem echad. So in the Tanakh, these two words, ish, also when it says is, for example, in the Meragli, in the spies, it says, kulam anashim, all of them are men. So what could we think? That they are not men? That they are cats? All of them are men. It says that men, when it say is a man, meaning in this context, in this use of this word, ish, it's important person. It's not anyone in the street, right? It's important person. And the word echad alludes to Avraham. It also says that Avraham was one, spatial, unique. And I will explain a little bit more why he was so unique. He says also his place. Ramatayim tzofim me'ar Ephraim. So Ramatayim is in Binyamin, Ramah. And Ar Ephraim is apparently Ephraim. So it's Binyamin or Ephraim. So it's not true what I just said. Ar Ephraim is all the mountain from north to Jerusalem until the north. It's called Ar Ephraim, all this mountain. So it's include the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Menashe, and the tribe of Binyamin, all of them in this mountain, in the center of Eretz Israel. So he was there. The word Tzofim here is not very clear what it is. There are different interpretations. Tzofim can be a high place, like you say, when you have a place when you can have a view. How it's called? You know where? What? No, but there is like what? Plat? Maybe when you're, for example, you're stopping and you see all the valley in front of you. It's a place when you can have a good view. Yeah, peak of the mountain, but sometimes there are places that are destinated to that. You're mitzpeh. Anyway, a high place. It can be a high place when you can see all the things that are in front of you. Usually in hikes, when you're doing hikes. Anyway, this is one interpretation. Other interpretation, Tzofim is also someone that has visions, and it's other name to prophets. So some say, and this is a translation to Aramaic, is that he was a prophet. And we'll see that that was a rare thing in these times. and his son, Shmuel, is also Shmuel Hanavi. So I already told you now, the secret is the father of Shmuel that we are going to learn about. Not all the people in the Bible are described from the before they were born. We have few of them. We have Moshe, we have Shimshon. We had this story with Shimshon that his mother got the angel that told her that she's going to be pregnant. And so it's in a very unique place when we say a person was destined to his role position is from before getting before he was born. Returning to that, the place Ramatayim Tzofim. So, or the place, the high place of Ramah, or the place of the prophets, when he has tradition of prophecy. Me'ar Ephraim. Now, this person, Elkanah ben Yerucham ben Elihu ben Tochu, he doesn't say here what tribe he is. It says Ephrati. You could have think that it's from the tribe of Ephrat, but it's not. Ephrati, also in the Tanakh, in several places, it's important person. So he was some kind of a leader, and it doesn't say what tribe it is here, but in the other place of the Tanakh, in Divrei Yamim, we can see that it's from the tribe of Levi, but not only from the tribe of Levi, from the sons of Korach. So he is from the family of Korach. What are you looking for? No, okay, I can tell you what its name, what it is. Just a second. Observatory, maybe. Observatory. Yeah, observation point or something like that. Yeah. Okay, anyway, returning to that. So we see he was a special person, very important person. He's come from the Ar Ephraim. Now, in the end of Sefer Shoftim, all the horrible stories that we saw, starting from Har Ephraim, and starting from people from the tribe of Levi that lived in Har Ephraim. So this is the beginning of the correction. We can see that very bad things can happen in Har Ephraim in the tribe of Levi, and also we are going to see that very good things come from that. We can see that there's a lot of potential, and again, potential can be used for good or for bad. So he's coming from this place, that we saw all the horrible things that happened there, and is from the tribe of Levi, that we saw all the horrible things that the tribe of Levi did, the idolatry, the murder, the violation, etc. But here starts a new story. Now, what was so special about him? So this is not written in the verse, and Chachamim add in the Midrash. Maybe I will read another verse, and then I will show that. It says he has two women, and he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other Pnina. And Pnina had children, but Hannah had no children. So we have Hannah and Pnina, one with children, one with no children. Who does it remind us? Yaakov, Rachel, and Leah, yeah, maybe also, maybe Avraham with Agar and Sarah. So Chachamim say that the real wife was Hannah. We can see she's mentioned first. And when she didn't have children, the same as Avraham, he told her husband, you can take another wife to have children. But it doesn't mean that she lost her hope to have children by his own. Now we're going to read another verse and then return to Elkanah. And this man went up out of his city year by year to worship and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts, Lord of hosts, in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Pinchas, the priest of the Lord, were there. So he used to go every year to sacrifice and to worship. Now, why it says also again in Hebrew it's clearer. It says Aish Ahu, this man. It could have said and the man, or and Elkanah, and this man. Why is this man? Chachamim says and the only one. He was the only one who was going to Shiloh. Nobody else went to Shiloh. So again, this place was abandoned. People didn't go to the temple. People didn't go to the shul. There wasn't minyan there in the mornings. There wasn't even tefillah there. We are going to see that Eli Cohen didn't understand Hannah because he wasn't used to people praying. We'll see about that later. another question is, it says, in this time, Hophni and Pinchas were priests. Hophni and Pinchas, the sons of Eli. Why it says Hophni and Pinchas? Eli also was there. It says, were there Eli, Hophni and Pinchas, and not, it say Eli was there and his sons. No, it says the sons of Eli. So about the sons of Eli, we will see later in this story, they were bad. They didn't do the job properly. And they were one of the reasons that people didn't go to the temple. People didn't go to the temple because the sons of Eli were behaving in a very bad manner. But returning to the beginning of the verse, so he used to go every year to the temple, and he was the only one who was going from his city to the temple, because Am Yisrael wasn't connected to Beit HaMikdash. Now, when this is a situation, we are in the ends of the times of the Shoftim. People are not united, a lot of idolatry, people not going to the temple, all the bad things that we saw. Am Yisrael is weak, and the Plishtim are taking control of them, ruling Eretz Israel. Everything looks bad. What one person can do? If you are in that situation, what you can do? Chachamim say that all the revolution that we are going to see in the days of Shmuel, when we will see later in the book, it says, and all the days of Shmuel, all Am Yisrael went after God. I mean, was following God. So it's a total revolution from the lowest point in our history almost to one of the highest. When the Tanakh itself says all Am Yisrael follow God, it's a real revolution. How it starts. So the main work was by Shmuel. We're going to see what Shmuel did. But it starts from Elkanah. That's according again to Chachamim. It doesn't say in the verse. We have some hints, but the verse doesn't say. It just says there was one person, he went to the temple. That's all. But Chachamim learned from all these little things that I told you. It says Ish Echad, like Avraham was Echad. So Avraham was after 10 generations of bad people. It says that between Noach and Avraham, everything was bad. All the generations were bad. So Avraham went after 10 generations of nothing. Also, Elkanah was after many generations of sins. Elkanah, Avraham had two wives. One of them didn't have children, and the other yes. And also Elkanah. Avraham was one who was convincing, that's the connection that we are doing, that it's not written, was able to convince everybody and to spread the word of the belief of the faith of God. And this is exactly what Elkanah said. I will read now the Midrash. He says, Allah Elkanah rose to the Beit HaMikdash, it's not what wasn't Beit HaMikdash, it's Ol Moed, right? It's a Mishkan. Veishto, Uvanav, and his wife and his son, and the member of his whole house. And he took with him his brothers and sisters and other relatives. What? No, it doesn't appear here. It's in my page. That's what I'm saying. It's a midrash. It's a midrash. It's not in the verse. So it says he didn't go alone. He took with him all his relatives. Now, Ramah is maybe one day exaggerated, one day from Shiloh. But he didn't go directly. He went with all his family, like I said before, and they came to one city, let's say to Jerusalem. No, Jerusalem wasn't in the hands of Jews, but in other city, and he slept in the streets. So all the city, all the city were excited. What is this person? He was very, like I said before, respected, important person. Maybe he was one of the leaders of the generation. Why he sleep in the streets? So everybody came around him and asked him, where are you going? And he answered, we are going to the house of God in Shiloh. From there, you can learn Torah and make mitzvot. And why won't you come with us? Right? That's what Elkanah told to the people. It says, immediately their eyes starts to shed tears, and they say to him, Nelech imachem, can we go with you? And they answer, yeah, of course. And in the same next year, he went again, and then say 5 houses, 5 families went with him. The next year, 10 families, etc., until everybody went with him. And in the same way he went in this year, he wasn't going in other year. So he went one day through Tel Aviv, other day through Beer Sheva, and again, it's not the way. It just went to the city to awake the awareness. So this is, it says, עד שהיו כולם עולים, until all עם ישראל starts going to the temple, start going to Shiloh. הקדוש ברוך הוא said to Elkanah, you were the one who הכרעת את ישראל לכף זכות, meaning you were the one who was shifting the direction of עם ישראל to the merit, to the good side. וחינכתם במצוות, you educated them to make מצוות, וזכו רבים על ידיך, many people got merits because of you. I will bring from you a son that again will educate Israel, etc. שבשכר אלקנה שמואל. So the reward for the efforts of Elkanah was Shmuel. So what we can learn from that? We can learn how Elkanah did a revolution in Am Israel by, first of all, I would say, caring. Second, making an effort, going all around the place. And I would say the third one is a self-example. I just say example, educating by behavior, not by lecture, not by doing classes in Sefer Shmuel, but going to the streets, meeting the people and showing them how to behave. So this was again the beginning of the revolution. After many, many years, the result was the reconnection of Am Israel with the temple. So this is Elkanah. Now we are going to focus on his wives. And this is the story, is going to focus in his wife, Pnina and Hannah. So I said before, the first one was Hannah, and the second was Pnina. Hannah didn't have children. She was, how do you say, infertile, barren? Yeah. Barren, infertile, barren, and Pnina had children. So again, it reminds us the Imaot. So Sarah was born, and Rivka, and after that Rachel. The only Imaot, one of the four Imaot that wasn't, was Leah. But all of them, and Chachamim say that Hashem wanted to hear the prayers. So he creates some kind of a problem that obligates them to pray more than in other cases. Anyway, Hannah was also considered one of the righteous. She is named in Sefer, in Masechet Megillah, in the Talmud Masechet Megillah, one of the 7 prophetess. You say prophetess? Prophetess, right? There were 7 prophetess, there's 4 mothers, and Hannah, and Abigail, that we're going to see later in the book. And I think the 7th one was Esther, but I'm not sure. No, yeah, we have Huldah and Dvorah. Huldah and Dvorah. So one of them should go down, maybe Abigail. But she's considered as one of the prophets, female prophets that Am Israel had. So she's a very righteous woman, but she doesn't have children. And the man is going every year, yamim, meaning every year by year, to Beit HaMikdash to pray there. So that's what's happened one year. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave portions to Pnina. No, it's every time. He gave portions to Pnina, his wife, and to all her sons and their daughters. So when they did the sacrifice, it was shlamim. In shlamim, you get some of the meat. So he gave to Pnina and all his children. But to Hannah, he gave a worthy portion. In Hebrew, it sounds like twice as the other people. For he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. Okay, so he tried to recompense what she's missing and to show his love by giving her more than other, but still she was sad about the fact that she doesn't have children. So part of going to the temple, to the Mishkan, was to pray to have children. And then we read the next verse, and her rival is the other wife. So in Hebrew, tzara. What is tzara? Do you know in Hebrew?
That's a disease.
Tzara is some kind of a problem, affliction.
Yeah.
But in Hebrew, also, when you have 2 wives, you don't know that personally I know, but they used to be married with 2 wives. The second, each wife called the affliction of the other, tzara. So the word tzara in Hebrew has 2 meanings. No, it's a literal word, right? You need, when you say that there are 2 wives married to 1 man, means they are tzarot. They are tzara to each other. They can be best friends. My grandfather, father has two wives because the first one was burned, infertile, and infertile. So he married another one. In this case, he didn't have a miracle. And the fact that I'm here is because he got married with the other one. But my father told me that the real grandmother for them was the one who wasn't the real grandmother. So what they used to do in this time is to get divorced. After 10 years, you don't have children, you divorce and you marry the other one. But my grandfather, he didn't want to divorce from her because he loved her. So they arrived to an agreement, he will marry another one. It was allowed. They lived in Algeria. In the Sephardic world, it was allowed to marry two women until recently. It only stopped with the State of Israel, with the modern law that it's not allowed according to the law now in Israel. But it was until recently, it was allowed to get married with two women. So he got married with the other one, and they weren't tzarot. They weren't tzarot. The principal wife was the one who didn't have children. The other one was also, but they were friends. But the word tzara is in Hebrew has these two meanings, tzara and the other wife. In this case, and that's why I think that's why it translated here rival. I use this time the translation of Rabbi Zaks in Tanakh Koren. Tanakh Koren. So he uses the word rival. I don't think that it's usually used in English to say the other wife. Rival? Yeah. It's the other wife?
Yeah, the rivals.
Okay. And it's not like when you are against someone, you are his rival?
It is against someone,
Yes.
not the other way. Rivalry.
Yeah, it's right.
People are competing.
Yes, this is rival.
Yeah.
But when you have two wives, it's called like rival? No, that's what I'm saying. He used
If they don't get along with each other.
so they become rival. So okay, so in Hebrew it's in Hebrew it can mean a neutral term. In this case, the translation is right because it says, and her rival also provoked her soul to make her fret because the Lord had shut up her womb. What does it mean? Antagonize her. Chachamim say again in the Midrash that she was also asking her, did you give food to your children already? Did you change for your children? Like provoking her. And why did she do that? Two options. Or because she was a bad person, or because she was a good person. How it works. If it's because she was a bad person, because yes, she was jealous in her, because her husband loved her and he gave her twice. And also, you know, there's some kind of competition between the two wives, and she wanted to, this is my strong point, I will make you suffer, I will make you cry, because I hate you. You're taking my husband. Or I just don't like you, and I want to make you sad. This is the explanation that she was a bad person. Chachamim, actually, in the Talmud, say it was for good reasons. And they are saying an interesting comparison. It says, Pnina and Satan, the Satan meant for the better. And this is an interesting comparison, right? What's Satan? Satan in the story of Yov. So in the story of Yov, the Satan comes to God and say, yeah, Yov is a righteous person because you gave him everything. Let's try to make him problems and see how he will react. So he was, Chachamim say, he also had good intentions. What are the good intentions? So about that is she wanted to make her pray harder. She was suffering, I make her suffer more, so the prayer will be from the bottom of her heart, from the most deepest desire, and I will encourage her in this negative way to pray stronger, and then she will have children. This is the explanation of Chachamim. Also, the Satan, he wanted to challenge Eov in order to take out from him the best. Now, this comparison also tells you that not always good intentions are good. The fact that you have good intention doesn't justify making evil, making wicked actions. And this is what she did. I mean, it's not your job to make other people pray. Let's say I will be mean to people because I want them to pray. First of all, if I'm the rabbi of the community, it's not going to work. They're not going to come. But generally speaking, you don't have to be mean. Even if you think that it's going to achieve some goal, you are not allowed to be mean to other people. And this was a mistake of Sarah. She of Pnina. Anyway, be it in the positive explanation or negative explanation, that was bad. she made her suffer more than necessary. She already was suffering for not having children, and she made her suffer more. And it says it wasn't only 1 year, it was annual ritual. And as it did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. So we are talking about year by year, and then we are going to one specific year. So in one specific year, she was so upset that she didn't eat. So Elkanah was used to give her every year twice. Usually she used to eat 1 year. She was so upset. I don't remember. I think that some midrash it was after 18 years, she was very upset. She didn't eat, and Sarah, her rival, was upsetting her even more, and she decided, I'm not eating. And now Elkanah say the most male thing that you can say, with very good intentions, and again, very bad results. He says, then Elkanah, her husband, say to her, Hannah, why dost thou weep? What?
That's full English.
Yeah.
Why do you?
Why do you weep? Yeah. Why do you weep? And why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? What he's trying to encourage her. He said, yeah, you don't have children. You should accept it. You know, you have a good husband, you have a loving husband, you have food, you have clothes. Well, you have to be grateful for life. Life is good in the end. My love to you is better and bigger than 10 children. So it's very kind of him, but it's a very bad thing to say. It's not the same need in the soul, the love of a husband and having children. It's not answering the same need, and it's misunderstanding. It's not understanding. I don't know what you should have said in this situation. I understand you. I feel for you. I'm sorry for you. I will pray for you. You cannot say, you know, you're in a good situation. It's not a thing that you say for a grieving person, for a person who is in pain. You are in good situation. Look on the bright side of life. Maybe there are moments to say that, but not when he's crying. Okay, it's not and trying to focus in other things that you have in life. You just have to now to accept her grievousness, her sorrow, her pain. Okay, and so what is the answer of Hannah? She doesn't answer. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten. She just was quiet. Maybe she ate something to make him calm or to satisfy him. But it says she rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli, the priest, sat upon a seat by the gate. So we're going to speak about Eli. But the word here that is unusual, usually doesn't say vatako. She rose up. Usually you say, and he went. What is vatako? She went up. So again, we can explain that as in a spiritual way. She rose. Why? So Malbim and others say she understood that he already accepted the situation. He's not really committed to change the situation of infertility. So if he's accepting the situation, meaning he's not going to pray from the bottom of his heart. And even though he was a righteous person that we saw, he was the one who was changing Olam Israel, he was the rabbi of the generation, whatever. So he's a righteous person, he was the right person to pray. But if he's not committed, he doesn't feel the pain, he doesn't really identify with the pain, it's not going to work his tefillah. And this is a very important lesson. I will give you another example from Sefer Bereshit. We read that Rivka and Yitzchak, they didn't have children for many years. And they say that both of them prayed, and it looks in the verses that Hashem answered Yitzchak and not Rivka. So both of them prayed, but Hashem answered Yitzchak. Why? Chachamim say Yitzchak was tzaddik ben tzaddik, and Rivka was tzaddik bat rasha. So it's a righteous son of a righteous, while Rivka was a righteous woman, but she was a daughter of a non-righteous person. Anyway, we can understand that the tzaddik Rivka also was tzadika, and Yitzchak was tzaddik. But of course, if you are tzaddik, there are more chances that your prayers will be accepted by God. So we do want tzaddikim to pray for us. But from the other side, it says after that, in the case of Rachel and Yaakov, Rachel complained to Yaakov, "Give me children." What do you mean, give me children? Am I God? That's what he answered to her. Am I God? So Chachamim add to this conversation. They said she asked him to pray for her. She said, "Your father prayed for your mother. Why don't you pray for me?" And what the answer to her? Yeah, but my father didn't have children. I have children. Yaakov said to Rivka. And again, he is criticized for not being sensible, for not sensitive, for not understanding and accepting. Ramban says it's not the way to speak with a woman who is in pain, who doesn't have children and who is pain. So it's not the right way. But what is the point? He said he is right, meaning Yitzchak has the same pain as Rivka. I don't know if it's the same, but they had the same problem. So he can pray for her and for himself from a real place. He really suffer, he feel for it. But in my case, yeah, I can pray for you, but it won't be the same as you are praying for yourself because you feeling the pain more than me. I have children, you don't have children. When you feel the pain, you can be more connected to that tefillah. So also here, when Hannah understood that he is not with her in the same page, he has children. Elkanah already has children, and he has the other wife. And yeah, maybe he loves me and he wants the best for me and wants me to be happy, but the feeling of I don't have children, he doesn't share with me this feeling. So I must rise by myself. Vatakom Hannah. She rose, meaning she said, now it depends on me, not on him. I have to change the situation. And she went to pray in the Mishkan while he didn't. Now, we are going to see that her prayer was very strong and it was changing the situation. And Chachamim say that we learn a lot of alachot tefillah, the laws of how to pray properly, we learned from Hannah. Hannah is a mother of prayer. She was the one who invented the way that we pray today. Okay, but it comes exactly in this moment when she understood that Elkanah is not with her. Elkanah is not in the same place. He thinks that it's better for me than 10 children, which is doesn't understand what does mean not having children. So I must take care of myself. Okay, so this is about the first part of the verse. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, after the Endrak. Okay, so this is about her. She decided she was going to do something. Now, Eli, the priest, sat upon a seat by the gatepost of the temple of the Lord. Why he was sitting there? Apparently to watch, to see that everything is okay. And she was in bitterness of soul and prayed to the Lord and wept bitterly. So this is the real strong prayer of Hannah. And we will analyze it a little bit more later in the next time. I just want to read another verse. So, and she vowed a vow and said, "O Lord of hosts, if you wilt indeed look wood, wilt is wood in the archaic English.
If you will, if you will.
If you will. If you will indeed look on the affliction of your handmaid and remember me and not forget your handmaid, but will give to your handmaid a man child." It's a nice game to change them. Then I will, why not this word?
No.
Wilt? Because it's when you, maybe, it's different when you and me. It's a second, yeah. Okay, and I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. Very similar to whom? To Shimshon, Nazir, from the day of his birth. So he will be dedicated to God. So this is a vow. She said, if you give me a child, I will give it to you. A good deal for God, right? So, and it came to pass, so she continued praying before the Lord that Eli marked her mouth. She was praying without saying the words in loud, only in silence. That's what he said. Now Hannah spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she was drunk. Again, the men do not understand Hannah. She has a problem communicating what she's doing with men. They're just not in her place. So he is rebuke her, and Eli say to her, "How long will you be drunken? Put away your wine from you." So, and Hannah answered and said, "No, my lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Take not your handmaid for a worthless woman, for out of the greatness of my complaint and grief have I been speaking." So Eli was misinterpreting the situation. Chachamim add the story of the women to me. So he asked, what is happening here? And he got the letter Shin Kaf Resh Hey, which can mean Kshera, can mean Kesara, like Sarah, she was like Sarah, and can mean also, if you change the order, Shikora, drunk. And he didn't understand. So we understand that the Urim and Tumim depends in the reader, what he looks on that or in the level to understand that. And Eli wasn't in the level. And Eli is considered one of the greatest. We saw his son weren't righteous, but he himself was a tzaddik, was a righteous person. And he still was wrong about understanding her. Anyway, he recognized his mistake. Then Eli answered and said, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant you your petition, which you has asked of him." Okay, so we will return, read another verse. We'll return this conversation next time, Bezrat Hashem. So, and he said, "Let your handmaid find favor," and she said, "Let your handmaid find favor in your sight." So the woman went her way and did it, and her countenance was no more sad. So it was an immediate change, a change of her mood, her face. She was, it looks like the tefillah was accepted after this conversation. Okay, so we will stop here this time. Thank you.
Rabbi.